What's up, guys? Geo Strats coming at you with a Genex profile. I was requested to take a look at one, so I spent the last month in my free time beyond making videos just testing this deck out. It's a bit unfortunate that Konami didn't really do anything with the archetype. You swear they were going for one thing and then they changed midway through, and they have no spell or trap support. This is an archetype. There's 3 pages of cards. It's how many is it? 4 by 5. So there's 42 different cards in this archetype, and they're all monsters, or something to that effect. It's 2 pages and then 2 extra cards on the DN search page. But the point is, it's an old one. It came out in a hidden arsenal, and it's lacking a bit of synergy, but it is pretty fun. And this is a pure build, so this isn't a highly competitive one. I was initially trying for that. I might try it again if that's what the person who requested it is after, but for this one, it's pure Genex. You know, you want to play the Genex cards, you don't just want to use the Genex engine. This isn't Mermails, but without further ado, I'm playing triple of this guy. Genex Controller is the main man. I might drop him down to 2 depending on what you're doing, but I mean, getting him in the grave is just so important half the time anyways, or just on the field. Some way, getting him in your hand is both important and horrifying because he is a vanilla. He's just a level 3 tuner. But all the Genex guys require a Genex controller and then an attribute or something to that effect. It's necessary. So I'm running 3 of him because of his necessity in this deck. I'm running 1 Genex ally Birdman, the one good Genex card that's all play outside of this archetype. You can bounce a monster to special summon this. Big combo I do a lot is summon a Summoner Monk, pitch a spell, special summons Blastfan. Blastfan will search out Controller, bounce Summoner Monk and special summon Birdman, and then that way you've got a level 7 play right opening turn. Summoner Monk is back in your hand to use again next turn, and you have a Genex Controller in your hand for any other Genex plays you want to make. Definitely a mandatory in this deck. It's so important. Genex Ally Charger, I'm running at 3, a changer. Really, he just changes his attribute. Select one monster on the field and change its attribute. Typically, a change himself. 3 of the Genex Synchros are level 6, so you can summon him and Genex Controller, and boom boom, you have any of them, just change his attribute to match. I'm running 1 Genex Ally Chemister. Declare 1 attribute and discard this card to select 1 face-up Genex you control. That monster becomes that attribute. This effect can be activated during either player's turn. That's his main function in this deck. I honestly just use it to pitch him and change something's attribute, because a lot of the times I'll have the level 7, but I won't have the level 4 being Wind. So that's what that's for. I'm running 1 Duradark. I do believe, yeah, Duradark isn't as great. He combos well with Changer because you can select 1 face-up monster on the field and make it dark, and then just kind of like Cataster it with this, but not effective by any means. He's mainly just an 1800 beater and a level 4. I'm running 2 Genex Ally Remote. Just make himself Genex Controller, select 1 tuner and make it Controller, and he's a tuner level 3, so he functions as Controller, but he can't be searched by other cards that require Controller. So I'm running 2 Blastfan. Like I said, main role is with Summoner Monk. When you special summon, add a Dark Genex monster from your deck to your hand. Oftentimes his Controller or Birdman or Changer. Those are the main targets, and I believe the only targets actually alongside the remote here. But that's what that is. I'm running 1 Furnace. Furnace is purely for getting out the fire one. I don't play him often, but if you control a face-up Genex Controller, you can normal summon it without tribute, which is nice, and the 2 levels will make the level 5 Genex. Main man, Genex Neutron. When at the end of the phase of the turn he was normal summoned, you can add 1 machine tuner from your deck to your hand. So level 4, 1800 beater, fantastic, and then just searches out your controllers or Birdman or whatever. It's great. I'm running triple Genex Searcher. When he's destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 Genex with 1500 or less from your deck in face-up attack. A lot of the times I'd ram to go out into Controller and then main phase 2 Synchro summon, or, you know, set it, wait for them to run it over, and then get out what you need, and hope that they don't have a second monster to run over your tiny-ass Genex Controller. I was running 2 Undines. It's not the most efficient means, but the only, like, if you open with 2 Undines, or it goes some way, like it's dead. He can't search if he doesn't send a water monster from the deck to the grave, or he can't send a water monster from the deck to the grave if you already have all your Genex controllers. So, but on the turns that you'd open with him and not 3 Genex controllers, which happened once unfortunately, you normal summon him, send himself to the graveyard, and search out a controller, so it's deck thinning, and, you know, if it keeps alive, you can normal summon that Genex controller and go into the water Genex. And then finally, 2 Summoner Monks, like I said, ally plays. I run a few rank 4s, so there's enough level 4s in the deck to do that. Blastfan, Neutron, and Duradark. Pretty self-explanatory. Spell lineup, 1 Book of Moon, just too versatile not to play. Like I said, they have no spell and trap support, so this is all generic. Double Dark Hole and Raigeki, absolutely. This deck is too rogue not to. I'm running 2 double summons because a lot of the times, you know, if you open double summon and Undine, you can summon Undine, search out the controller, double summon, and then go into the level 6 water one. Great play. And I'm actually running 2 Swing of Memories, special summon 1 normal monster in your graveyard. The main reason I'm running this over some other things, you know, Soul Charge would be a great thing as well. But this deck can't afford to give up its battle phase if it has a monster on board, so I just didn't. And I found my life points got hit a lot, so I just didn't have them to use anyways. But maybe that's just me and I'm just a shitty pilot of a Genex deck. I'm running Triple Call the Haunted and Oasis of the Dragon Souls at 1. Things get in the graveyard and you won't be able to get the monsters in your hand onto the field fast enough. Your normal summon's way too important, so I needed to reuse the things in my graveyard. A lot of the times, if I'm not mistaken, things would require machine non-tuner, so Oasis was but good for the generic synchros that I ran. Like I was saying about Swing of Memories, I do that just to get out Genex Controller, and then you could save the Call of the Haunteds and Oasis on the other monsters to get out those synchro plays. And then in terms of the generics, I'm running 1 Compulse and 1 Solemn, just because extra decks are so prominent. So getting rid of those rank 4s and stopping the summons of, you know, pendulums or whatever, and 2 Storming Mirror Force for non-targeted, non-destruction removal, which is just too important these days. For my extra deck, you're looking at 1 Geo Genex, basically just wall up, because you synchro into him, and he's 28 defense, which is not bad. And then if you have a level 4 lower Genex, you switch the attack and defense, so he becomes a 28 beater, which is not bad for a level 6, but in general, why aren't you playing Goyo if you're looking for a 2800 level 6? But it's Genex deck, so we're not doing that. Geo Genex it is. We've got 1 Hydro Genex. When he destroys a monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, you gain life points equal to the attack of the destroyed monster. Not bad. 2300 beater. Again, like a monster that'd probably be better than this. It's not level 6. Level 5 Armades, but Genex. And the only reason I'm saying these things, not to discredit the Genex deck, just if you're looking for maybe a more competitive build or something like that, that's something to look into. Even though I don't think you can make a level 5 in this version of the deck anyways. I'm running 1 Genex ally Triarm. He was the only good generic one in my opinion. Again, level 6. The best part was using him and Genex ally Changer to match an attribute. His effects changes based on the non-tuner synchro monsters. Oh, I can't talk. His effects changed based on the non-tuner materials used to synchro summon him. So if he had a wind monster used to synchro summon him, you can discard 1 card to send 1 random card from your opponent's hand to the graveyard. If it was water, you can discard a card to select 1 spell and trap card on the field and destroy it. And if the monster you used to synchro summon him was dark, you can discard 1 card to select 1 face-up light monster on the field, destroy it, and draw a card. So he had some synergy again with Genex ally Changer, because you could make the opponent's monster light, and if you use the dark one to summon him, you can pop and draw. Inefficient, often wouldn't happen, but it's a possibility. I typically used him to start ripping apart my opponent's hand, even though it was kind of not that good of effect. It's really going minus. But you discard a controller, use his effect, and then call the Haunted it, and you can do some shenanigans. It was pretty interesting. And that's it for the level 6s I was running. The level 7s, Genex Windmill Genex. It's he gains 300 attack for each face down spell and trap on the field. You can send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard and destroy 1 face down spell and trap. So a lot of times I just summon him and just set 4 and boost his attack up by 12. Not a bad beast stick and only level 7. So he was actually one of the good ones and really easy to go into with Blastfan and a controller or something, or remote and Blastfan. Also running one Vindikite R-Genex. Any Genex tuner and one or more non-tuner wins. He's level 8, so it's a little harder to go into, but it is what it is. Your opponent can select this card as attack target, and if this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can add one Genex monster from your deck to your hand. So, nice searching, and, you know, they can't attack it, which is sometimes a saving grace. Finally, for my Genex monster, I'm running one Locomotion R-Genex. His effect... Okay, he's level 9 with 2500 attack. Ouch. His effect requires taking control of the highest level monster that your opponent controls. So if your opponent has 2 3s and a 4, you'll take control of the 4. The problem is, a lot of exceeds. His effect just isn't that useful anymore, but if it does go off and you take their level 8 or something, generally that'll have a high attack, and it's yours. It just completely steals it free of charge. So that's nice. For my generics, I was running one Black Rose Moonlight. If a level 5 or higher was special to my opponent's side of the field, you could bounce, or just summon it and bounce one thing in general. One Clear Ring, because Clear Ring's just such a fantastic level 7. If you can play 7s, play this guy. I was trying one Scarlight Red Dragon Archfiend. Put in some serious work for me. I'm liking it as a level 8. You could really do the board wipe and then burn damage, which was nice. Running one Stardust Spark for the emergency, you know, save stuff. One Leo, just because a lot of the times you get like your Black Rose or your Locomotion, or not Locomotion, Windmill would be fiendish, and then, you know, play controller and go into Leo. So, and then finally for my rank 4s, I just ran one Castel, one Exciton, and one Cowboy, because you could do that really easy with Summoner Monk and any level 4 that we run. So you could bring out Gust Fan and then search Tuner, overlay into Castel, and get rid of a problem card. It was nice. The deck isn't that great. It's really not competitive, but it was fun to be playing, even though I was losing a lot. It's way too slow to keep up with the competitive game, but it is fun. I'd even consider building it in real life and then challenging my friends to use shitty decks only. No disrespect to Genex. That's actually pretty mean to say. Use slower decks only. No high speed Synchro spam, exceed spam, pendulum nonsense. I'm talking things from back in the day. I'll make them all play Ice Barriers or something. But no, it's fun. Other things to consider, I mean, there was MSTs, or like Spell and Trap can hurt, but at the same time you like it with Windmill Genex. My competitive build I was trying, I did throw in 2 Nordens because I'm a jerk. Although it wasn't always used to just go into a rank 4. You could bring back, you know, special summon Norden to bring back a Blastfan, and then normal summon a controller. So he did open up a lot of combos in this deck, but depending on what you have, you might not like it. You might just be against Norden in general and what he represents for the faster game, yada yada. It's a fun deck. So there it is. There's my take on a pure Genex build. Pretty damn fun. Slow, but if you got people playing in that competitive level, it's a fun deck to play. Thank you guys for watching. Once again, if there's any type of deck or archetype or whatever that you want to see me try my hand at, go ahead, leave it in the comments. I'm always willing to try out new stuff. Keeps me fresh and entertained. Gives me something to do with my time. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys want to see. That's what I'm doing this for. We'll see you next time on Geo Strats.